Hi, I'm Dan Holt, and I was raised around this country, Creswell and Eugene, Oregon, Western Oregon. I'd like to take you on a tour through some of Oregon's back roads and look at some of the ghost towns around here. They're quite interesting. Now, since I live out here in Western Oregon near Cottage Grove, we're going to start there. There's a town about 25 miles west of Cottage Grove called Gunter. Actually, the road goes out a drain here. And the other town is about the same distance the other side of Cottage Grove. You go up the beautiful Row River Drive and through Diston, up Champion Creek Road to a place called Bohemia. Now, since the town of Bohemia is just a little ways up the road from our house, well, my boy, along with his cousin, went up there and they filmed some of the scenery along the way.
The Arkansas mine. We're going through. One, buddy. Hey, we're leaking down here. I had to pick the worst shoes for this. Oh my gosh. Mom, I think I'm gonna spend that in this cabin tonight. Soaking. Oh, Steve! Oh, you got me! Sick! Oh, you won.
This is disgusting.
Hey, here we go.
We had to be crazy to come in here. Oh, I think I just lost a shoe.
See where it's blue along here? Blue and gray? Black? Must be some
we're
kind of mineral.
down to the end. Yeah, this is it. Unless that goes somewhere.
Let's go out for a little further. This is less money.
I don't mind. No, that's it. Okay, let's get out of here. There ain't no braces in
Wait a
here.
minute, Steve, check back here though. There's black back here.
Okay, dude, but there's no braces anywhere in here, okay?
Hello? Oh, right, Bill, man. Stained glass. Yeah, let me that camera. You go in? Oh, there's nails all over.
Now, this is still Bohemia, which was originally a gold mining town. Next, we're going to go on to Gunter. I'm going to talk to Mr. Gunter first. He lives in Springfield now. Now, your name is
Gunter, Don Gunter, G-U-N-T-E-R. I don't know much of our early history. See, I was pretty much of a kid. I was only a few years old at the time. Sometime in the 90s, they moved from Drain over there on the Smith River, and it was just a horse trail at that time.
Mm-hmm. There wasn't any regular road there.
No, and the road used to go up over the high mountains. That was a horse killer, the way that old road was.
Mm.
And it was abandoned. The new road was built a long time before I ever drove a car.
Oh, the new road's pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah, but it's nothing like the old one was. They built the road by hand, see, and horses, so they picked out the easiest way to build the road naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And same way down the river, wherever there's flat places, that's where the road was built.
How did your dad get everything started when he moved out there? Just kind of homestead, did he?
I think I had a piece of railroad land and he squatted on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe eventually he had to pay 50 cents an acre for it, which is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And he had 160 acres there.
Oh, that's a lot of land.
Yeah. But he was, I don't know, he wouldn't let us cut a green tree for wood or anything. He just loved the trees. So when he died, well, the timber was still standing. It was there when he moved on to the place. Except here where the orchard was and those fields, he cleared those off.
Mm-hmm. You said some of the people out there were real poor that lived around
Oh,
Gunter?
all of them were.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I told you about the family of kids that had bread with large bread on it and salt and pepper for sandwiches.
Oh,
And
pretty poor.
well, they were poor, you bet, but there was a lot of people there at that time. Families scattered all up and down the river, and they were all in the same boat. There was no money.
Was that during the Depression?
Yeah, well, that was way before the Depression, back in 1908 to 1910, 12, and that time.
Oh.
After, I think after the World War I, things began to pick up a little bit. And then by the 30s, it wasn't so bad. But the time I'm talking about was along from about 1908 to 1912.
You said there used to be a Three Seas camp there later on?
Yeah, that was in, I think 1933 when they moved in there. That's all gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made everybody leave the area? Just no money, no work?
Well, and I guess that's about the size of it. The family grew up and they moved away.
I see.
People that had kids there that I haven't seen since they was 8, 10 years old. And up that road, you know, where the woman has the dogs, there used to be several families lived way back up in there.
There's still a pretty big house up there.
Yeah. You've been up there, have you?
Yeah, got a picture of it.
I wasn't up. My brother built that house. There's a woman by the name of White bought that place, and my brother built the house for her, but I've never seen it.
You said your dad used to run a store there, did he?
He had a post office, and he had them in a store, but he didn't make anything out of the store.
I see.
But I don't know. He had the post office back as far as I can remember,
Oh.
and that must have been, probably about 1909 or 10. I was born in 1904,
Yeah.
and he had the post office up till he died,
Oh.
1936.
Now we're leaving Western Oregon and we're going over to Eastern Oregon where most of Oregon's ghost towns are at. Let's start at Baker, Oregon, which is kind of the center of all the ghost towns. At one time the natives say that Baker was bigger than Portland, the largest city in Oregon during the mining heyday. This is kind of in the center of where all the activity was at. As you can see from all the old buildings, there really hasn't been a lot of changes taking place in Baker. Now, here's a map of Oregon, so you can see where Baker's at. Anyway, from Baker, we're going to go out east here the first day's trip, and about 25-30 miles to a little place called Sparta. Sparta is off on about 10 miles of dirt road here, and it's not too bad a road, just gravel. And then from there, we're going to go on up to Cornucopia, which is way up here at the end of this road. And then after we get through taking the pictures there, I'm going to go back down through halfway and to the Oregon-Idaho border, and then another 10 miles of some of the worst road I've seen on this whole trip to a place called Cuprum, Idaho. And the reason why that road is so close to the other road is this is the Snake River Canyon here, and it has to climb up the side, and it's only a one-way, very narrow road. It's a little bit scary. If you're afraid of heights, I wouldn't recommend this trip because there's not room to turn around once you get started hardly. Anyway, from Cuprum we go to Landor, Idaho, which wasn't on the map. I just drew this on. It's probably about another 8 miles of even worse road. And then from there we'll go on back to Homestead, Oregon again, in the Oxbow area, and then back again to Baker, where we started at for the first day's trip. This is the old store at Sparta. You can see the walls were real thick here, and that was built that way on purpose to resist the robbers that try to break in. There's over $15,000, or around $15,000 a week of gold dust sent out of this town back in the gold mining days. This is another old building at Sparta. This is an old abandoned farmhouse near Sparta. We're going to look through the windows. And this is the bank at Halfway, Oregon. Here we are finally in Cornucopia. This is Cornucopia in the early days when it
Yes,
was a mining town.
and I have another one taken. The other one we'll take out and set up for you is taken from the other end of the street.
Oh, okay. It's Cornucopia from the air, is it?
Cornucopia from the hill across the, what they call
Oh.
from the Snyder Meadow Road.
Okay.
I don't really know how many people lived here at the time, and I found out just recently that the original post office started here on December 7th, 1885. Right. At the far end of the street is this cabin.
The cabin at the far end of the street?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
is this cabin.
Oh.
The type of lens makes it look rather large, but it was a very small cabin.
Oh. That was the main street coming in from the south, huh?
Yes, that was the only way you could get into town. The road ended just beyond this cabin, just a little ways.
Oh.
This was the Keller Hotel. My parents were married here in 1911. This side of the place was the hotel. On the other side was the saloon.
Oh.
And now it was here in my time. It was here until about 1942.
Now, this is snow in the wintertime?
This is winter. I would say this was early winter because there doesn't seem to be that much snow.
Oh, it gets deeper than that. Huh?
Oh yes, much.
Oh, my. Now, this is one of the original cabins here out at Cornucopia.
This was built in 1902.
1902.
The old gentleman that told me about the cabin, he was one of these people that remember everything.
Oh.
Where they cut the logs, and who he borrowed the horses from to slide them over here, and the name of the horses. I had a cousin born in this cabin in 1939.
This man lives in California, and he's just spending his vacation up here. This is an old boarding house or hotel that's just across the street from his house. This is inside that same building. Now again, because of no foundation, well, these rooms here are kind of slanty. This building's kind of settled. I hope you've enjoyed this half hour out of 3.5 hours of ghost towns. We'll try to show a little bit more each week as we cover them all. My late wife and I recorded these back in 1988 and 1989. Next week, let's visit a few more ghost towns. Near Baker, Oregon, there's a couple in Idaho, then Sumter, Granite, and Whitney, Oregon. I really thank God for the fun we had visiting these interesting places, and I hope you enjoy them as much as we did.